Hello, good evening, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the bit from the BBC Frankie Boyle's New World Order Series 3, Episode 2, into Tommy Robinson. It's very pertinent, of course, because recently, in fact today, Tommy Robinson announced that he was going to be running as an MEP, as an independent, for the North West in England. Obviously can't run as a member of UKIP because they are the only party that disavows people from the EDL and BNP. Anyone who used to be in those groups isn't allowed to run. Not the same in other parties, the main parties at least, of course, but I'm sure we'll get into the questionable backgrounds of these people as we go on in the video. So, let's see what we have here.
Moving on. Former EDL leader Tommy Robinson has made a career out.
Former EDL leader, Tommy Robinson. Yeah, he was the de facto leader, didn't appoint himself leader, but he was, because it was fracturing and he seemed to be the main guy, and then other people said, yeah, I like this guy, let's choose him. And, of course, at the time he was trying to distance himself from people who would label themselves as white supremacists and neo-Nazis and said, hey, you people who believe in white supremacy and the superiority of the white race and the 14 words and all down that route, why, can we see who you are? Yeah, like, raise your hands, cool. Now go over there. We don't want you, okay? Leave. And that was shown in his interview with Sargon of Akkad, Enemy of the State, I believe that was. So, yeah, former EDL leader. And then he left and he was helped out to leave when he thought, no, this has gone too far. I don't want to be associated with these people because I disagree with this. I don't think people are bad based on their race. In fact, I grew up with a load of mixed race people and I've never seen it as a problem. My problem is ideology. That's always been his stance. And trying to say, EDL leader, well, EDL is bad, isn't it? That's far right, because that was, you had a load of people in trouble who were connected with the EDL for trying to bomb mosques and who were linked with Anders Breivik, the Norwegian terrorist. Great. But that was nothing to do with Tommy Robinson. So why do you mention it? Because you're trying to be honest and give people more facts? No, of course not. You're just trying to smear him. Like you always do. But with that in mind, that you're already trying to be deceiving, let's see what you have to say.
Of claiming that his right to free speech is being curtailed. In this tense and unpredictable ABC profile, we
Right to free speech is being curtailed, as in being imprisoned for not breaking the law, being a political prisoner, as in being outside a courtroom, saying, these are what the allegations are, these are what the punishments are for these crimes. If these people did it, here's what they're going to face. Not that these people have done it, because apparently he was perverting the course of justice by influencing the jury. And how could he be doing that if he's not giving any opinion about whether or not these people did it? It's been covered by loads of journalists to say, here are the facts, here are the allegations, we're not saying whether or not they did it, and here are the punishments associated with those crimes. So if these people did it, that's what they face. That's what he did. It's not a crime, and he was imprisoned for it. And of course he was moved to very heavily Islamic prison, just so that he would have an even harder time. And if you look through the records, then yeah, it was very difficult for him in his block, just opposite the mosque or the prayer room for them. So they'd come out and post shit through his little window, so he had to keep it shut. And it was incredibly hot, and he said afterwards he subsisted on just a can of tuna a day because he couldn't trust what was being done to the food by the Muslim cooks in the kitchen who hated him because he's criticising their ideology. Not them as individuals, but their ideology. He's criticising Islam as the ideas, not the Muslims, the people. There's a difference. Stop conflating the two.
can see that the citizens of Luton are still angered by Tommy's opinions.
Definitely feel there's
Citizens of Luton. Any particular groups, or just Luton? Well, let's see. Yeah?
more tension in the air now that we're walking through here.
Yeah, of course. Luton's a very divided town.
You were here when you walked through.
I was the leader, mate, I was.
So, at least he admits that, okay, yes, he was the leader of the EDL. What's your point? Okay, at least we understand how early people are being told what to believe and being indoctrinated into things that aren't true. But cool. Young white boy, let's have a productive conversation and say, why is it racist? What can we do?
No, it's not a problem, no.
Why do you think it's racist?
Good, thank you, reporter. So all you can say is Muslims, or Muslim something, which again isn't racist. That's followers of a particular ideology, nothing to do with race at all. I'm just going to say, oh, Christian is white. Oh yeah, because where does that come from? Oh, it's from the same place. It's nothing to do with race, is it? No. But you just want to find any little label that people don't like, and because you know that Britain is a very anti-racist country, I mean, I can't remember the name of the poll, but 1% of English people, or British people surveyed, will be fine with their neighbour being a foreigner. So 1% wouldn't be okay with it. Whereas in France, 20%. So, yeah, Britain is distinctively anti-racist. Which is why you call people racist. Because you know Britain is not racist. That's why you do it.
Oh dear, what was that? What did they just say to you?
Pussy.
Yeah, so they call him pussy because they know he isn't going to cause a fight unprovoked. Because they know he's actually a self-respecting gentleman. Just because he sounds working class. Again, it's a class issue. Whereas you know the panel that we're just on, New World Order, and we'll go back to, are clearly of a different class.
Oh God, I don't know if this is a good idea.
It was clear that Robinson's past would not be quickly forgotten.
No, these people are known to hold a grudge for a while. That's why the Crusades are mentioned a lot, isn't it? When you have a warmongering religion, the people who adhere to that, as Sam Harris said, the problems with Islamic fundamentalism is the fundamentals of Islam. Is that, again, I'm not saying there's a problem with Muslims, not at all. It's the ideology. So let's not conflate the two. I'm making a very clear distinction between them.
Or forgiven.
Don't point your camera at me, I'll break your camera.
Great, so we've already had a threat. Are we going to do anything about that threat? Oh no, it's freedom of speech, of course, that's fine, even though you've already said it shouldn't be. But okay, fine. Fine, let's say threats are okay.
I'm telling you, you're doing it. Go on, then you got something to say.
What have you got to say?
Come here. Hey, what you got to say?
Got something to say and being aggressive, as if the correct way to respond to words is violence. Oh, because punching a Nazi is okay, isn't it? Who's the fucking Nazi? Unless you can identify what they want, and then you go, okay, Tommy, so what do you want? Let's have you on the show for once. Wouldn't that be a nice change, instead of just smearing him? Have him on, see what he has to say. You're not going to do that, are you? Because you know he doesn't think what you want people to think that he thinks. So of course you're not going to do that. But yeah, let's see if these people who are clearly unprovoked, they see a guy who's not causing any trouble, he's just standing there, maybe he said some things in the past, again, not inciting people to violence, seeing as he gets arrested for not doing anything wrong. If he does anything even slightly wrong, of course there's going to be the full force of the law on him. And it isn't good he's nearly as bad as the people say, but they know that, oh, actually, what he's saying is true, therefore we can't have him speak. We're going to let the actual people who do claim to want white supremacy, like Richard Spencer, classic example, obviously I'm not above going to cliches, that we can show what he says in his entirety, because it's bad. So we can let him do what he wants, because then we can say, look at this example, this is the personification of this other person who we're not going to give you any more context of. Trust us, because our track record is perfect, isn't it? So they get violent straight away. So does Tommy go to fight back? No, he tries to defend himself and gets knocked down in the process. Good thing there are other people there. He doesn't throw the first punch. He doesn't even try and punch at all. No. He tries to block and gets taken down because of it. So, where are the police? Oh, they're too worried about being Islamophobic, aren't they? That's why they don't report on the grooming gangs in Rotherham. But we're gonna get to that. Let's see if they can give even a glimpse of honest reporting in that.
Oh God. Oh God. No.
What do you do? Say something then.
So he's not standing his ground because he knows that he can't. So he's walking away and having to walk backwards because you can't break eye contact with these people, otherwise they're going to take advantage of you when your back is turned. Even when the cameras are there, of course they don't care. It's great we got NHS in the background because we all know that you don't have to be a citizen to take advantage of what the taxpayers pay for. You can just collect benefits straight away. Isn't that nice? Again, England, very anti-racist country. Maybe to its own detriment. And that's the problem. Worried that, oh, we don't like these people's ideas, but if they happen to be a different skin colour, then we're worried that we're going to be called racist because they're going to misinterpret our actions, which are based on treating those people as an individual, as if we're smearing them because of their whole group. So we can't be doing that. The only people we can discriminate against is straight white men.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm lucky to got to that one.
Of course there are 3. So poor guy trips up and scrambles to get to his feet because he's worried people are going to kick him when he's down. Again. But good on him. He wasn't trying to start a fight. He was walking back straight away. He was still pushed. Did he fight back? No. He just kept walking back. Very honourable. Not sure I'd do the same in that situation. I think I'd probably be a bit more angry than he was, but well done, Tommy. You're very self-restrained. I'm sure these people, the BBC, who don't like violence, are going to commend you for not returning blows that you received by these people attacking you proactively, who are laughing about it now. I'm sure they're going to defend you for doing the right thing, aren't they?
You think he'd have learned how to walk backwards in prison?
No, he's just going to start with a rape joke. That's okay, because the rape jokes are fine, isn't it? No, they're not. Or they are. Oh, so it doesn't actually matter what you say, it matters who says it, and if they're on your side. This isn't about morals or ethics at all, is it? It's tribalism. And that's what it comes down to. It's disgusting. You're trying to claim any moral high ground on this. It's bullshit.
And also the amount of power walking he must have done in his time as well.
Okay, that's a throwback to a Liam Neeson bit.
Hasn't heard him yet.
His whole mob, they're all about Muslim grooming gangs. There's a lot of sex criminals involved in the far right.
Again, we should define what the far right is. Because you're not. And yes, Tommy Robinson is against the far right. However you want to define that. And also Islam. It's almost as if he's against fascism, in the true sense of the word. And totalitarian regimes. And making people do things they don't want to do. And silencing dissidents. You seem to be on board with that. But we all know the BBC's history of paedophilia. We're not going to bring that up though, are we? No.
Yeah, the thing that went on with Rotherham and the flaws in the system that allowed that to happen.
Thank you, Sarah. Very good. She's actually being very honest and open in this episode. I commend you, Miss Pascoe, a great deal. This is really fantastic. See, there are flaws in the system. Exactly. Police not willing to investigate into any Muslims for fear of being labelled Islamophobic, and then not being able to work or find any other work because of how powerful that label is in the UK, because we're anti-racist, so much so to our detriment. So, yes, exactly. There are flaws in the system.
Should legitimately be criticised.
Perfect.
Being criticised along a race line by...
No, not a race line. By an ideological line. Basically, if you follow a doctrine, it doesn't need to be religious, of whatever ideology it is, saying, with your prophet, the main guy you're going with, who married someone when they were 6, oh, it's okay, didn't consummate it if she was 9, yeah, what do you think that's going to encourage? When you have this encouraged in the ideology that these people adhere to, what do you think is going to happen? This is why it should be okay to dismantle that ideology and say, hey, this isn't okay in our society. We have many different nations around the world. Go to one of those. A quarter of the people on Earth are Muslims. Just under. 24%, I believe. So, there's loads of places to choose from. But you don't want that, do you? No. You want the successful places that are successful countries, because they don't follow that ideology, because then you can take advantage of their social state.
racists.
I do find it really hard to take seriously that Tommy Robinson and the EDL really care about...
Again, you're trying to conflate the two together. He left 6 years before this was aired, or even filmed. What's your excuse? You don't have one, do you? You just don't like him, because he's actually being honest. But yeah. Go on then.
The vulnerable girls who are abused in that and other scandals, because there are really serious problems that...
Yeah, in that and other scandals. Cool, almost as if they care about the young girls. But there are serious problems, good.
...led to them being abused. But
Exactly.
they only seem to be interested in exploiting it to push this agenda that Muslims are problematic.
No. No, they don't. Why are you trying to deceive people? Why are you lying? The point is the ideology of Islam. It doesn't matter what race the person is. It doesn't matter if they're black, brown, white, yellow, purple, whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you have an ideology that lays out exactly what to do and you have people following this, then maybe it's time to tackle that. And if you're being told you can't detain any followers of this ideology, no matter what they do, even if they're breaking the laws of your country, so you have a double standard for them, put them in your good graces, then yeah, there's a problem. But you're encouraging that. What's your point?
As a presence in Britain, instead of actually looking at how you can safeguard vulnerable children. You know, they're only interested in this minority, and then they try to create a narrative that all Muslims need to be held accountable.
No, Islam does. But the point is to encourage moderate Muslims in order to say, hey, this ain't good. You guys should stop that. Our religion needs to progress as we go on. There are different understandings of the Quran and the Hadith. Then we can integrate it into this society. It isn't a problem, okay? Do you think Christianity, Judaism haven't moved on at all? Of course not. Do you think that followers of Islam are selective what they follow? Yes, of course. Otherwise, they wouldn't be using modern technology, would they? Because that's not permitted. Yeah. It's starting to fall apart now, isn't it? You're not going to let that go. You're not going to let that stop you, though, are you?
The actions of these paedophiles in 1 or 2 towns.
1 or 2 towns? You mean cities across the UK? Quite big cities as well, creating no-go zones? Seems to be a serious problem. And if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be mentioned. Why are you defending the paedophiles? BBC, gotcha, of course.
You never talk about white paedophiles, even though the majority of paedophiles are white.
Majority of paedophiles white. Yeah, 90%. Cool. So, are you saying the majority of criminals in a country are the people native to that country? That's funny, isn't it? Who would have thought? I mean, we're talking about grooming gangs in particular, and the police not being able to do anything about it because they're going to be labelled Islamophobic. That's what we're focused on. He's not for paedophiles at all. Neither am I. It's abhorrent. We hate them. They're the worst. Paedophiles, rapists. Find it completely abhorrent. So yeah, okay. In fact, there's a good study here. So, let's see, Pakistani men. So, okay, we're not going to pretend we're Asians. Great. So we're saying, neither is greatest to say that when it comes to wider child abuse, 90% of those convicted on sex offender registers are white men. Fair enough. Cool. So if we scroll down from fullfact.org, the UK's independent fact-checking charity, if we go down, so now, this is focusing on England and Wales rather than the whole of the UK. Fair enough. And studies on those involved in grooming children, that's what we're talking about, are categorised as being of Asian ethnicity. And we all know it isn't the Orientals doing this. So again, it's Pakistani. Right. So, the proportion of offenders, or suspected offenders, varies from study to study, anywhere from 27% to 75%. Okay, lowest estimate, 27%. So we're expecting 27% of the population to be Pakistani. Right. Overall population of England and Wales, 86% of people were white, 80% of the population was Asian ethnicity. Funny that. Almost as if there is a disproportionately large problem that you're not addressing. And this is all Asians. This isn't just Pakistani. Now it is falling apart again, isn't it? You're not going to mention this. Oh, and this was in 2011. Do you think it's decreased since then or increased? We all know it's increased. So, why are you lying to people?
And it's frustrating when he's given a platform in the mainstream to promote that.
He's not given a platform in the mainstream. He is getting censored from places. Continually. You allow other people speak who have abhorrent views to try and validate your views that then these other people shouldn't be allowed to speak, but not him.
Because it's not legitimate debate.
Who's to decide if it's a legitimate debate or not? What about debating Islam? You're deciding that that's not a legitimate debate. We should just allow these people to rape children. Is that what you're saying? Doesn't sound right, does it? How are we supposed to know what views are legitimate or not unless we hear them? I don't agree with raping children at all. I'm against it completely. But when you like to know who's trying to do it and who wants to do it, and then maybe you can talk to them and say, hey, this isn't a good idea, for a whole host of reasons. And this isn't how we run in England, in the UK. Yeah, maybe if you open that dialogue, you can then let people understand. Like the intellectual dark web has done more to de-radicalise than to radicalise. Because then you let these people hear the different points of view and actually understand.
I think we've got to a really dangerous position where now, if someone like me who's anti-racist...
Yeah, who do you think is actually pro-racist? That's ridiculous. Great, you've built a straw man. Let's see how difficult it's going to be to take that down. Who do you think is pro-racist? It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm anti-racist as well. What else do you want me to virtue signal about? What about rape? I wouldn't even rape you. How's that? Is that good? I'm anti-rape. Woo! What else do you want me to say? I'm anti-paedophilia. I'm anti-totalitarian regime. I'm anti-murder. Great.
And anti-racism is in a debate. There's this need to put me on against a racist.
Yeah.
As if
No, it's somebody who disagrees with your views, but you're just smearing them. Again. Stop it. Okay?
racism is like a legitimate opinion.
Well, it is. It is a view these people hold. And if you talk to them, maybe you can change their mind. If you silence them, it's going to go underground, and it's going to get worse. Then you're going to have a rebellion. That never helps.
You know, and it's not, if we were talking about rape, if we were talking about the problem of rape, you wouldn't have me on with a pro-rape activist.
Well, you probably would if you're talking about Islam. People who follow the Quran indeed to the letter, same as the punishment for apostasy is murder. If you leave the religion, you're supposed to be killed. What about when I'm making a news recently with how they're treating the gays and all the LGBTs? In fact, with the Jussie Smollett case, the lawyers for Jussie Smollett tried to smear the Nigerian brothers to say they were gay because they know it carries the death penalty in Nigeria. But we're going to ignore that, aren't we? Because those countries have different ethnicities from the white, so we can't be seen to offend those. I mean, just look at the makeup of this panel.
We accept that pro-rape is not a legitimate stance.
No, we don't. I don't like it. I don't agree with it at all. But it very much sounds like a legitimate stance. What do you mean by that? Or are you just muddying the waters by changing the meanings of these words as well? Like, far right. What does that mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to racism, pro-racism now apparently is like so normalised.
No. We've been over this. I don't think I need to say any more on this matter. I mean, this is truly ridiculous. You're conflating disagreeing with you with being racist. Almost as if people have individual views. And just because you base an individual of the group they belong to, doesn't mean everybody does. Almost as if people have different points of view. So maybe let's let them air that. You might learn something. I might learn something. We all might be better off for it. And those people who are wrong might then reconsider their stance and go, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't be raping these people. That's a good idea, yeah. Try that for a while. See how it works for you. Maybe you get more respect from people. They'll like you more. Things will be good.
That I find myself having to debate people who are openly and overtly racist. And
Can you give any examples? Because the only one you've given, Tommy Robinson, isn't racist. In fact, if you want to talk about punching Nazis, that's what he's done. Because they don't like him, because he doesn't support them. Or you're going to say, oh, anyone who supported him then defines what he is. It's just the whole Hitler drank water debate, really.
I think it's really worrying because it does send a message that these two positions are equal, then we just have a healthy debate.
And presumably it's less about balance, it's more about entertainment value.
There is
because
that. Because it's clickbait.
Yeah.
It's also...
I don't think I can really go on with this. I mean, you're just trying to smear people. You're not trying to understand. You're pulling them all high ground, and I give up on this. So that's it for this. They're then going to go into another topic anyway. So of course they're trying to smear Tommy Robinson. That was the point for this video. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. And we might even get on to the reason that I decided to start uploading in the first place. All to do with a leaflet I got through my door. So anyway, this was Jesse Washington for Wasp News Media. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.